Hi there YouTube, this is the Magnus bringing you another Total War Warhammer online ladder battle. Today I will be commanding the Warriors of Chaos up against the Greenskins. And I brought a new build I've been messing around with. It's got 7 Chaos Warriors with great weapons. It's got 1 Chaos Warhound, 2 Dragon Ogre Shaggoths, and the man, the myth, the legend, Kolek, Eater of Suns. Or Beater of Suns, or yeah, Sun Eater. That's it. I got it right. Sometimes I call him Kolek Wife Beater, but that hardly seems appropriate, so I'm sorry. Orc Boy Biggins, my opponent brings 2 of those with a Goblin Big Boss way out on the flank. A big line of infantry from him as well, including 4 Black Orcs and 4 Orc Biggins. He's got the Orc Shaman and the Orc War Boss. So both of us did not opt for bringing any sort of range, so we're going to have a good old throwdown here. I could sit up on the hill here, which would not necessarily be a bad idea, but I don't like to do that to people. If I have artillery or something, then I'll sit up there because there's no reason for me to push. But if it's 2 infantry or land-based armies, it makes sense to go in and just fight it out. Now, the cavalry is a concern because they're good against large, which means my monsters are not necessarily what I want to throw at them. But my infantry, the Chaos Warriors with great weapons, are not that much worse than halberds against cavalry. So I've kind of started to shy away from bringing the halberds. That might bite me in the ass here, but we'll see. So I start swinging my Warhounds over here because I realize he's not going anywhere with this cavalry contingent. And I send a Chaos Warrior over as well, if I can distract him or do anything. In the meantime, we send in Kolek, we send in the Dragon Ogres to kind of break up his lines, get them a little distracted, confused, panicked, whatever the case may be. And then the infantry shortly follows after. And I just love the Dragon Ogres, and more specifically Kolek Sun Eater. He's just such a badass. So we're going to go ahead and get in the Orc Shaman here. In the meantime, I did a good job of tying one of his cav units down here with the Chaos Warriors, and I'm going to send in the Warhounds to poison them, do a little cycle charge action, and keep that going. Now I send Kolek up against the Orc War Boss, and it is not going well, so I'm going to try to get him the heck out of there. But the infantry engagement's quickly going my way, so I start pushing this way. He does the same. And that's going to make for quite a pile up here in the center. So he chases Kolek into the middle, but at least now I have some protection. And I'm going to start putting Shaggoths on his war boss as well to try to convince him that he doesn't want to keep chasing Kolek. Kolek's quite quick, deceivingly so. He's really big, so you think, oh, he's not going to be that fast. But yeah, he's that fast. So his infantry is just melting to my infantry with the support of the Dragon Ogre clan here, and you can see his guys, just the leadership's not going to hold up. There's a lot of terror these guys put down, and they do good splash damage as well. His war boss himself is going to get scared off here, and that's going to allow me to turn and focus on his infantry, which you'll see me do here. On the right, they're breaking as well. His cav broken. He's sending guys back in as quickly as he can, but as you can see, just the hitting power of this army is ridiculous. Now, you wouldn't want to bring something like this against missiles because I have nothing with a shield, but you could throw a couple of regular Chaos Warriors in there and I think you'd be alright. His Shaman is still hanging out here, and the Foot of Gork's going to come down. That does some pretty considerable damage, and it also splashes your units around. But I think it's probably going to be a little bit a case of too little, too late. So we keep hammering through here in the center, just having a massive battle. These guys took care of the cav over there, so I'm trying to bring them back into the fight. Other than that, all the action is right in this region. Now, I do send these 2 guys to chase after the Orc War Boss, but then I'm going to have one chase him, and I'm going to have him go into these Black Orcs. Since he's trying to use them to intercept, I figure I might as well soften them up, and at the same time I start working on that Orc War Boss, or Shaman, I'm sorry, and he is not going to want to go toe-to-toe with the Shaggoth for very long. His Goblin makes his way back, the Goblin Big Boss, but he too quickly finds himself swarmed by a ton of infantry, my Warhounds, and Kolek Suneater, and that's going to be a pretty quick win for Chaos. Good game to my opponent, and I don't think he necessarily brought an unusual army. I think it's a decent standard greenskin build. I just brought something highly unusual, and he seemed completely caught off guard by it, and the leadership of the Greenskins didn't seem to allow them to be able to tolerate the amount of fear and terror that I was putting down on the field. So let's see how our units did. The Chaos Warriors with great weapons were quite good. One of them got a chevron, unless I brought them that way. I don't recall. This Dragon Ogre Shaggoth got 2 rank ups, and they both had a decent amount of kills. So did Kolek Suneater. But if you look, at my opponent, he had a pretty small army, so these numbers look a little low. But even the Chaos Warhounds did great. I mean, for their price, to kill 42 of anything over here is a great trade. As far as my opponent's army, some of his Black Orcs did well, and they should. They're a very expensive and powerful unit. But other than that, the rest of his crowd really didn't get much done. I like this build. How flexible it is, or if it'll continue to do well, I don't know. I've only used it a couple of times, but it is a lot of fun to play. So I definitely wouldn't say, take this into a tournament or play a top 100 guy with it, but I'd certainly say you could play it on the ladder and have some fun splashing around with it. So I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say about the build. If you liked the video, you enjoyed the fight, learned something, or you just like clicking things, please click like, please click subscribe. I really appreciate it a lot. And until the next time, this is the Magnus. Good luck on the ladder. Take care. See you soon.